Hey everybody, welcome back. It's business. I know it's been a while. I'm still alive, yes. I just haven't had the time to do much of anything related to the videos. Too much work, too much streaming, and too much everything else. And really, if it's between streaming and YouTube, I'm gonna stream every time. You know, I'd rather play the game than play, well, games than just sit here and talk about them to nobody for you know, a good hour or two, whatever the case may be, as I'm working on the videos. Nice hit there against the NC, of course, in the Roma, and this is the range where the Roma is really exponentially increasing its danger to other ships. If you can roll good dispersion at, you know, the 15 to 18 kilometer range, you can do a lot of damage to enemy battleships, especially, of course, if they're broadside. Well, pretty much only if they're broadside. And now I'm alone over here, by the way. Yeah, so the Bismarck ate a shit ton of torps, and the Hipper just got taken out. So I was gonna shoot there, but I thought that he may have, by the time my shells got there, I just didn't really trust the angle on that particular engagement. And what did I forget right there? The 27 millimeters of bow armor on the fucking Des Moines. Oh, 7 bounces. I totally forgot about that. That was one of the buffs that the Des Moines and the Baltimore got a while back to increase their survivability, because they have 27 millimeters of bow armor, so that can bounce 386 millimeters or something like that. But he gets so close to getting that ram off, and while we're looking up here at the Missouri, who helps me get rid of him. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know what's really funny too? Is exactly the same thing happened to me earlier. I got taken out by a teammate in exactly the same situation on this map, like only a few more kilometers to the north of my Caesar. Yeah, so my teammate was in the Fuso, I think it was, and he was something like 16 kilometers behind me, and prevented me from ramming a Gneisenau and taking him out. So yeah, I was pretty pissed about that. And this is a great scenario showing when you use HE in a battleship. I'm not going to do a damn thing to him with AP, and he knows that if he turns, he's going to take massive damage potentially from the AP shells. So I'll just keep whittling him down, and he's going to keep engaging my other teammates that are off to my left. Well, actually, it's just the one with the Alabama, but it's just one of those things where a lot of people have asked me, like, when do you use HE in the battleship? There's a great example. Here's a great example of how AP fails miserably. Yep, 6 shells and 1 measly hit. Awesome. That's exciting. If you take a look at the minimap here, nobody seems to give a shit about the rest of the map. And I've been trying to get somebody to spot the damn Gatey, and of course our carrier goes after the battleship as opposed to trying to even spot the destroyer and then attacking him. And in this scenario, just take the torp, don't open your side up, because you know there aren't more torps coming for, you know, another period of time. You don't have to worry about it, and chances are, if he's going to throw torps, he's going to risk his teammate's life. So if you can force that, great. If not, then, you know, just whatever, don't worry about it. Focus on the issue at hand here, which is another enemy Roma at point blank range. Now, there's a lot more crap shooting at me here than there was a moment ago, and now there's a shit ton of planes coming in. So it's all about patience here and a lot of luck. So we're gonna zoom out, and somehow he bounced there, but I didn't need a third turret. So he aimed too far back. You could tell there, because the shells were beyond my conning tower, and they just bounced every single one of them, which is absolutely insane to think about. But you know, this ship in the right situations can do a lot of damage. It really can. It's just, I just wish this crap happened more often, you know? I really think this is a ship that should have the dispersion buff under like a given range, like say 4 kilometers. It should be laser accurate under a given range to make it really dangerous, because this is a brawling battleship until it isn't. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here as I go broadside to this enemy Roma, has no interest in shooting at me. once you get beyond a certain angle, the ship is dead. And it applies to the Caesar as well, which I'm going to have plenty of examples of that for you here in a moment. But, you know, once you get beyond a particular angle, the ship is going to get wrecked. And damn, that felt good. Although I was really hoping for a lot more than that. I mean, yeah, 3 Citadels, 40,800 damage. Yeah, that's good. That's good. But let's be honest, none of us would have been quite happy with that, knowing that now the Musashi in this instance is going to be kind of pissed and looking to get some vengeance against me. But you know what the Musashi and the Yamato suck at? Any close quarters engagement. So, yeah, there's another 7 Citadels. But also, before it actually happens, you can see my turrets here are facing off to the port side and they're coming around to the starboard side. I use Control X a lot, and I already have my turrets all the way over here. That's why they just fired. So replays do not show this. They don't show it at all. They don't show a lot of things, actually, but it's important to point that out, because I guess I get, you know, from time to time some comments about that, be like, oh, you fucking hacker. No, it's just the replay. Trust me, there's a shitload of bugs in here that you're most likely not aware of, and wow, did I luck out there. His rear turrets and some of his front turret shells hit the island there, and I lucked out big time. So I'm just going to kind of ignore him, just kind of watch what's happening here, and going to let this unfold. I've got my DD ahead of me here. There's also a V170 on the enemy team that I hit for more than half health, and nobody has been able to spot him again, let alone shoot at him. And that's going to be a problem. So we have another Caesar over here, and I figure I'm screwed one way or another. And then my teammate in the DD turns around behind me and actually draws the attention of the Caesar that's behind me. So we get one of his... Actually, I think that was one of his rear turrets there. But he opens up entirely to deal with the DD. And that's why you gotta move. That's why destroyers and battleships gotta work together, because everybody wants broadside, right? And sure enough, V170 shows up here and gets a secondary hit or two on him, gets some damage, but unfortunately now he's at an angle where I'm not going to be able to really keep my secondaries on him until I turn in a little bit more here against the enemy Caesar. So I've got my A turret, my front turret, is just about ready to be reloaded here after getting disabled, and there we go. The guy fired way too soon. There's 4 Citadels, and there's the remaining. Yeah, so that turned out to be a little better than I anticipated. But broadside, broadside, broadside. You gotta be careful, especially in the Caesar and the Roma. You start exposing those sides, and you're dead. And same applies to the Musashi, which is fucking terrible armor. And the Yamato is just... Both of those ships are just bad. Just really, really bad on the side armor. They're really only meant to be good at long range, because they just don't have the turret traverse over the side armor to be able to withstand anything else. And I had to make a turn here because the enemy, actually I think it's in New York, or Texas, either way. Yeah, got him on my side, and unfortunately what I did not do here was reset my zoom. So you're going to see that here, as I'm just about dead from the flooding, but get the repair, and I'm starting to heal back some of my health here, and that would have been nice. But I'm just looking to do a death salvo, but check this out. I screwed up. I didn't give myself enough time to get that situated, and let me just say this. The New York has horrible armor. This ship can frontally Citadel the shit out of that thing, and I could have done a lot more there, who knows, but this poor Perth is spotted in the smoke, and there's a pair of Caesars in the division right next to him. I'm not spotted, and that guy's no longer part of the game. So, and here's a case where I hit Control X right there, and I'm starting to swing myself out to starboard. I'm trying to bring my guns to port, and I'm trying to cut in on this guy and basically at least get my front turrets in the position to be able to hopefully do enough damage to knock him out. He fired there, which is huge that he fired as early as he did. So we're just going to continue to wait. We've got all these guys on their backside here. I know I'm dead. The whole point is taking somebody else with me. And 2 for 2. Beautiful. I would say that's worth it. I finished 3rd on my team. Yeah, died in just a couple minutes of actual gameplay, and or less. And there you go. So, but the Caesar is still a ship that I enjoy playing quite a bit. You know, I think it's one of the more entertaining ships just because of what you can really do in it. And again, I do think concealment is just, oh yeah, just a bit too powerful for battleships to have, as, you know, the concealment levels that are at a cruiser type of situation where, you know, oh hey, you're a cruiser and I just spotted you in my battleship, and oh, now I'm just spotted too. That's a bit much, and I really think they should revisit that. I think that's a horrible crutch to have for a battleship line. I really don't think that's the way to properly do things with battleships at all, but, you know, hey, all I can do is mention my opinion, and it's not like anybody's really listening to anybody's opinion anymore when it comes to balancing the game. So hey, there's 4 battleships over here. Oh, that's great. It's 5 battleships, but time for HBK, because if I'm gonna put myself in a situation like this, I'm going down swinging, damn it. And let's pick on the Wyoming to start, because he's the softest out of the bunch, and I can get all my guns on him, right? So, not what I was expecting there, really. 12,174 damage against a Wyoming who failed division, which everybody seems to be doing a lot of lately. I don't know why, but yeah. There's a Warspite right next to him as well. That's a bit of an issue there, and look at that. Those torps, man. That probably just saved my ass, at least for a little bit longer. So, the problem against the Warspite is that it has 381mm shells, and it will blast the hell out of this if the dispersion rolls well enough, if it hits at the right angle. And yeah, that was kind of a big hit against the Wyoming. That's what I was really looking for there. I wanted to have that knockout blow against the Wyoming to begin with, so I could better position myself against the Warspite. But now we still have a Texas and a Nagato off to around their 2 o'clock position, and I'm trying to figure out how the hell to position myself here in a manner that will keep me alive as long as possible while dealing as much damage as possible. And just gotta pay attention to turrets, gotta pay attention to reloads and all the stuff. There's a pretty solid hit. We got our heal up. Go ahead and get that going now. And since he just fired his front turrets, we have a little bit of time here to try to make a maneuver where we go bow forward against the Nagato while bringing our guns to bear against the Texas. Huge risk doing that, but we can count on the fact that the turrets, while not as slow as the Queen Elizabeth anymore, on the Warspite, they're definitely a lot slower than the rudder. So he has to position himself in a manner that would allow him to, well, he'd have to really open up his ship, and at least to me, if he wanted to really get his rear turrets involved and that sort of thing. So we just took a big hit from the 410mm shells of the Nagato, and we are still on fire from the Warspite, but we did blast the shit out of the Texas. I would say that was a pretty damn good battle there, so had some backup finally towards, well, the Akatsuki certainly helped me out a lot, but I was really proud of that one. He actually ended up deb striking the enemy Nagato as well, so he got to almost full health deb strikes there, and I really just wish I would have had the opportunity to get that last salvo in against the Nagato. I've had big salvos with the Caesar against the Nagato. I do not trust that ship at all, the Nagato, that is. But moving on to some Nicholas gameplay. I have not played this ship in a long time. This was actually my first match in it in I can't even tell you how long, and so we're on straight, and I'll be honest, I'm feeling pretty frisky here. So the Janeway, whatever the Pan Asian deity's name is, and then we have the Cleveland here. That's a problem. I'm not terribly worried about the DD at all. Like, so if he wants to shoot, he'll have to reveal himself at this range, pretty much, even in the smoke. Well, or as we are getting closer, and unfortunately the Cleveland decided to pop his plane there, but that gap of time there allowed me to get a hell of a lot closer, and just close enough to where if he wants to go ahead and fire again, he's going to have to deal with my torps. He's pretty much guaranteed his death by not getting that spotter plane up. So there go 3 torps there. We got a couple going right towards the Janeway too. And check this out. God damn it, the second torp did no damage. But I still get the dev strike and double strike, so yeah, that was pretty good. And I actually survived that match, amazingly. And I put myself in some hairy situations. I think I was under like 400 health, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, that turned out to be pretty interesting. And here's the Clemson. It's still weird doing that, to be honest with you, going right over the torps, because you just don't care. Like, yeah, whatever. They're Pan-Asian torps. No big deal. So managed to take that guy out. Trying to get people back to B, because you gotta control the center of this map. You know, New Dawn. This is such a crucial area where if you let them get up close against those islands, you have to dislodge them, and you gotta figure out a way to dislodge them. Otherwise, you're screwed. Now, there's a few destroyers in here, and I'm going right after him. You know, more HBK goodness. So I sent those torps out in the event that they flushed out. I didn't really expect the planes to be coming overhead and reveal those, which maybe that would have been pretty interesting. But doing some damage there, and we're gonna get nice and close to this guy as we engage the other one too. Too bad, missed me. And I've seen a lot of those guys just go right for the ram. Now the other one back here is coming back towards the center of the cap, and I'm expecting him to accelerate there, so we're going to go ahead and, again, it's less about, I'm not worried about killing him just yet. I'm more concerned about controlling him so I can buy myself some room here to deal with the other guy. So, alright, now we switch over to, and we almost killed him with the torps. That would have been a hell of a double strike there, right? But we set them on fire, and we're going to creep out of the smoke here just a little bit. I'm just doing a risk assessment there. And we got another puff of the smoke generator. Boom, right there. So just enough to calculate where he's at. We get a bunch of shell pens. He's on damage again. We know his engine was out, so just going to spread those shots around a little bit. Boom, managed to get him. Now there's going to be a Caesar that's just off to, actually, what is this, my 8 o'clock position? So we're going to go ahead and dump some torps here. Just kind of, oh, actually, I'm sorry, it's a Miyogi. It's really hard to see this, alright? I know you guys like to correct people on the videos, be like, that wasn't a Caesar, it was a Miyogi, or it was that wasn't a Clemson, it was a Bogue. No, it honestly, I honestly can't tell. I can't read any of the text that's on my preview screen here. It just, this window is really small and it's rather low resolution. But hey, we managed to get that one single torp on the guy. So we're at a few kills and 28,000 damage. And suddenly we get spotted. Unfortunately, it's a Clemson. We get some good damage there, about 3,000. I have a 19-point IFHE captain in this. If he pulled out towards my right there, I think we both would have been screwed. But haha, minimum torp arming distance. Only one of those racks got armed because the first rack actually managed to hit me, but do no damage because I was too close to him, which is what the gamble was there, of course. On both of our ends, I tried to pull in as close as I could, but tried to avoid the ram as well. So unfortunately, we didn't manage to get him right there with the guns. I'm pretty much, I know I'm dead. You know, this match is over. Whatever. I'll try to see if there's anything else I could do. Just dump torps back into the smoke in the anticipation that the Clemson's going to turn back around. We get a torp against the cruiser there, and we managed to get a nice little kill there for Kraken. And there you go. Always seems like it's the fun ones that you lose, but Oh well. Anyways, yeah, hopefully kind of get back into a little bit of a rhythm here of doing some videos. I already have another one, another episode of Ships and Giggles actually ready to go. It just needs audio. But thanks for hanging in there, guys. Appreciate it, and hopefully I can get some more content up for you a little sooner rather than later. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.